Hello and welcome back to the Saga the Clone Saga, aka the Clone Zone. My name is Matt, and today I'm joined by these lovely boys.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Vincent. And today our sponsor is the 1993, I believe, Image Comics series Blood Strike.
Yeah.
This issue, number 9, great giant gun with a reflection in the gun somehow. I guess it's like a laser gun, so it has like a screen on the end or something. And this is part of the Extreme Prejudice crossover.
Oh, God.
Bloodstrike is such a 90s name. I love it.
The next issue of Bloodstrike, great hyper detailed face, also part of the Extreme Prejudice crossover.
Is this by your boy Robert?
Use the name Extreme Studios.
What was that, Matt?
Is this by Robert?
Yeah.
So Extreme Prejudice is a part of Extreme Studios, which was Rob Liefeld's studio as part of Image. And the concept of Bloodstrike, I haven't read all these yet, but to my knowledge, basically the idea is it's like Suicide Squad, but they're kind of also all zombies or something. I may be entirely wrong, but I think that's the idea, like a zombie Suicide Squad.
So other than the fact that they're sponsoring us, and clearly Rob Liefeld is personally writing checks for us to talk about Bloodstrike on the show, why do you own that?
So
Rob Liefeld's a great friend of the show.
I've decided
that's the only acceptable reason.
I've decided recently to do some back issue diving and some soul searching. And I've kind of decided that I want to own a lot of early Image comics, like a lot of them.
And I can't believe I just heard you say that.
So are you surprised? It wasn't like he wasn't not interested. He's been dropping hints for years.
He has been, but like at this point, there's not even any shame. This is our sponsor. You're not even embarrassed. Who are you?
He's a Wizard magazine. He has no shame left to have.
What happened to you?
The genius thing about
who hurt you?
I don't know.
No, you do know. Don't look off the camera like this. Who hurt you?
What happened to my friend? You're buying Bloodstrike, Vince. Vince, please.
The genius thing about a lot of these Image books, and I'm not sure. I think other studios did it as well, but it's especially noticeable at Extreme Studios, is that they did these issues. Actually, no, I'm not gonna look for it.
I just want to say that when you started with Wildstorm, it was a cautionary. It was cautionary, and we thought it wasn't. It was retroactively. It was a warning sign.
It was.
And
we thought it was a one-time thing.
So
we thought you could handle it. We thought you'd be okay. And now you're buying Bloodstrike. You're like, I'm gonna cut them by Valiant, and we should have seen it then also. We should have seen it then, but we didn't.
30 issues of Wizard.
So, as a marketing gimmick, a lot of the Image titles, they did this thing called Images of Tomorrow. And so, say that Bloodstrike, for example, was up to issue 10. The next issue on stands was not 11, it was 25.
Oh my God.
And the idea was they jumped all the way forward in the story. And ideally, they would eventually catch up and they would fit in perfectly. So issue 24, like a year later, would fit directly before issue 25.
That's not how storytelling works.
So
what's wrong with this company?
Here's Bloodstrike 25. But the genius thing, or the tragic thing, is that a lot of these titles, especially the ones from Extreme Studios, Rob's corner, a lot of them didn't eventually catch up because they were so regularly coming out.
Of course.
Why didn't you just buy Spawn? Like, why?
Well, that's part of it too. So, but Bloodstrike got so close. It got to 22. So all it was missing was 23 and 24. But here's where things get insane and amazing.
Oh yeah, I bet.
So the thing is, and this is part of what has inspired me, is that so we are all 23 right now, right? All three of us.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So we're 23. So we are like none of us are actually 90s kids, in my opinion.
That's fair.
I mean,
we at least get to claim the fame that we still got half the decade, though.
Sure.
yeah, but we were 5. So it's not like we were
like it's better than like some kid that's born in '98 and going, "I'm a '90s kid." It's like,
yeah. I'm just saying, like we were not
two corners.
We were not fully developed to like properly sink in the 90s culture, whether that's music or television or
not at all.
comic books.
Yeah, we were not reading Bloodstrike.
Yeah, Mike a little more so because he had older brothers.
Sure, yeah.
Both Matt and I are the eldest children.
I remember issues of Youngblood. I remember who Spawn was, and I remember that Sideways issue of X-Force with Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2099 #1.
But the thing is that we all literally just graduated college, or well, 2 of us did. And
yeah.
We're 23 years old.
Stay tuned next semester when Matt still hasn't graduated.
Don't say that. Please don't say that.
But
well, I don't want that to be a joke. Now I'm scared that I did make a joke that was not really that's true.
All right, let me get through the sponsor story. All right.
Okay, yeah, sponsor.
This is the longest sponsor sling ever. What the fuck?
The thing is that aspiring comic book creators, around our age, they're eating ramen noodles and going to Kinko's and printing out black and white crap and cutting off their arms.
Kinko's if you're eating ramen.
Cutting off their arms to afford crappy artists to get in anthologies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so when they're late 20s, early 30s, that kind of age are the people who are really breaking into mainstream comics. And you have either mainstream or really making a name for themselves in indie comics. And so you have people like Donny Cates and Tim Seeley, and these people who are like 5 to 10 years older than us. So they, in fact, did grow up in the 90s. And the shock to their system and the comics that inspired them were drawn by Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, and Todd McFarlane, and Eric Larson, and so on. And so we're at this weird point in the road, finally, where some of the hot writers and artists in comic books are inspired by this crazy era, which up until this point has been so maligned and made into a meme. And there are major figureheads now, which they're not saying Bloodstrike is Watchmen, even though Alan Moore wrote a lot of stuff for Rob Liefeld. And
are you referring to Marvel's new Golden Boy?
Who, Donny Cates?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say he's one of the major kind of people that this.
I'd argue that it's actually say Zdarsky's the new Golden Boy, but yeah.
Well, Zdarsky's definitely, I don't think, is definitely not someone who is nostalgic for Spawn and Youngblood.
No, he's not. But I don't think he's writing a bad book right now, though.
Yeah, but so we're at this era where no one's saying these books were amazing, but we're finally turning the corner where it's like maybe we should go back and reevaluate and see if there is anything valuable in those things. And it's not.
The companies are like, let's also go back and make 27 variant covers for War of the Realms.
Well, that's a little different matter. But what I was referring to there a lot were like a lot of mainstream writers, Tim Seeley and Donny Cates. Those are the really like 2 biggest ones that I always think of. But the thing is that everyone was reading these comics in the 90s, not just the people who will eventually become writers. And so you have the people who are now getting gigs at like Fantagraphics and Top Shelf, indie cartoonists who also grew up reading these. And so you have people like Ed Piskor and Jim Rugg and Brandon Graham and everything like that. And at a certain period around 2012, in fact, Rob Liefeld hired a bunch of these kind of up-and-coming writers and cartoonists to relaunch something. So you had Brandon Graham doing this insane like anthology, bringing in tons of artists to reboot Prophet, and Tim Seeley rebooted Bloodstrike. And Tim Seeley's Bloodstrike not as interesting as Brandon Graham's Prophet. Other things like this, but there's an artist named Michel Fiffe, a cartoonist named Michel Fiffe. Michel Fiffe, mostly known for his self-published comic, now carried, starting like in June, carried by Image, called Copra. And Copra is Michel Fiffe basically in a very like underground cartoonist way doing his version of John Ostrander's Suicide Squad. And it's like one of the most acclaimed underground comics. Image is going to start carrying it. And that got him a lot of attention because he's like one of the hottest underground names. And so he actually jumped on a few Marvel things. He wrote like the ultimate, what the hell was the book called? Some ultimate book where it was like a bunch of teen heroes or some shit. Like Miles Morales was on the team. I forget what it was called.
Cool.
But for Image, Mr. Liefeld, or I don't know who arranged this, called up Michel Fiffe, and Michel Fiffe had this genius idea that he was going to take this Bloodstrike series 1 through 22 and 25, and he was going to make 23 and 24 in his underground indie style, and also Zero, the untold origin story. And so Bloodstrike 0, 23, and 24 came out just a few months ago. And they are like in this underground cartoonist style and fit perfectly. Like he did a shitload of research and they fit perfectly in the continuity of this 1993 Rob Liefeld series. And I think that is genius.
Yeah, I have to admit that's pretty cool. I'm not going to read Bloodstrike, but that's pretty cool.
I'm going to read it.
What again? Oh, yeah. Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider.
We're supposed to talk about Spider-Man, but...
So here's the concept.
Jesus Christ, he's still going.
Oh, you're not done. I thought you were done.
Custom bind and the 2018, 23, and 24, you know, they're going to go right before 25. It's going to be a seamless read.
Wait, are you going to do that?
Yeah. I'm going to do Bloodstrike. I'm going to do
Scarlet Spider number 6 is written by Peter David. What do you guys think of this issue?
It's an improvement, I guess.
I guess.
So, but Mark Bagley is gone, and we weren't super critical of him before, but this is an upgrade to me. I like Will Sliney.
Is it an upgrade? I don't know. I don't think I'm a huge fan. I think I actually prefer Bagley.
I mean, which artist do I like better overall? Bagley. But
yeah,
in the context of the series and issue to issue, I think slight upgrade here. Also, Will Sliney drew pretty much all of Spider-Man the newer version of 29.9 with Peter David. And so they've been working together for 30 issues.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ben Reilly number 6 opens with a drive-by shooting. And like it's never fully explained. There's just like these guys that go around and just shooting people in broad daylight in Las Vegas. And a mysterious redhead shows up. And did you guys have any idea who this is before she was introduced? And then did you have any idea who she was when she was introduced?
No, neither. Okay. Although going back and looking at it now that I know who it is, there are some moments that are kind of great, like when he walks past June.
Yeah. So first of all, there's this really weird scene because Kane has shown up in Las Vegas, and I guess he doesn't have money either. And so there's like this whole page which we don't come back to, where he like, does he commit stolen valor here? He says someone asks if he's a veteran. He says he's a veteran.
Yes, he does.
And he's going to like meet up with the veteran group. And within these issues, and this is kind of a isolated arc, It doesn't come back to. I don't. This page is really weird. And the redhead is Marlo Chandler, once married to Rick Jones. And
okay, he mentioned a talk show called Keeping Up with the Joneses. Was that an actual thing?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh my god.
So Marlo Chandler, created by Peter David, major supporting character in his Hulk run. It was like this. It was like a shitty love quadrangle where for like a minute, the Bruce or the Hulk were into Marlo Chandler, and then because Betty was on and off, and eventually Marlo Chandler and Rick Jones get married, and that issue was also the first appearance of is his name Talos? Talos the Untamed?
Yes, Talos.
Talos the Untamed from Captain Marvel first appeared at the wedding of Rick Jones and Marlo Chandler. And Marlo Chandler later, she's just Peter David's pet character because she also becomes a supporting character. Well, it makes total sense. So Peter David's like, I guess his next major run after Hulk and after Spider-Man 2099, which ran simultaneously, he writes Captain Marvel, the Genus Vell version, Marvel's bastard son. And Genus Vell, for a while at least, has the same dumb gimmick as his father, where he's attached to Rick Jones. And so obviously Marlo Chandler is going to be a supporting character in that book. And it got fun and meta. It was like a cult classic book because Marlo Chandler owned a comic shop in that run.
That's kind of cool, I guess.
It allows Peter David to make dumb comments about comic books. And again, Mike kind of talked about like making fun of the 90s, and this is where I can not really, but sort of connect this. Peter David had huge feuds with a lot of the Image guys, specifically Todd McFarlane, who, of course,
the legendary Todd McFarlane versus Peter David showdown.
Yeah, they had a famous debate or two with the one of them. I think the major one, the full transcript, you can find it online. Definitely worth a read. And so Marlo Chandler is here, and she motivates Ben to chase after the drive-by shooters. Suddenly, in another scene, Abigail Mercury or whatever, the kid dies, and a baby almost dies off panel. And this is a weird scene because it's like totally implied for a second that a car just hit this stroller with a baby in it. And also the like drive-by guys, they speak like somewhat gratuitously about, they're kind of like speaking pretty graphically about shooting people and considering killing this baby, even though they decide we don't want to kill the baby.
And they have a great conversation about Hitler killing babies, which is really weird.
Yeah. But Ben saves the baby, and then Marlo touches Kane, who shows up, and Kane is dead. That's issue 6.
Which is an interesting cliffhanger to end an otherwise kind of boring issue.
Yeah. Issue 7. So the thing is, Bagley is still doing the covers. And 7, it's a very evocative cover. It's Ben Reilly with his hood up, but he has a skull. But I don't think it's actually a good cover. I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like Bagley's his covers on some of these issues are a little like over rendered or something. I don't know how art works, but
I like this cover. I think it's kind of jarring and kind of cool.
Yeah. So it turns out this is not Marlo Chandler. So Marlo is not in this book at all. It's Death, because Death in other books was attached to Marlo Chandler for like a hot minute, and I guess she had some stupid unexplained connection, or she just likes Marlo's appearance. And so when Death comes to Earth, when written by Peter David, she appears as Marlo Chandler.
Naturally.
And Ben Reilly brings in the quick references to Thanos and Deadpool. He's like, I thought you got down with those dudes. So we have Thanos via a not their vision appearing in a Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider comic.
Neat.
And this is where things actually get insane. Because Marlo Chandler brings Ben Reilly to the afterlife. And she makes like some meta commentary about how the afterlife has a revolving door for superheroes. But Ben Reilly has, quote, died more than anyone in the universe. But hasn't he only died like 24 times or something? Which, granted, is a lot. But...
Yeah, I think only 24 times. Yeah.
Is that bad when we have to say only 24 times?
There's definitely some really stupid character, or like
Wolverine has definitely died more times. Well, died.
Yes, I think Wolverine definitely died more.
Yeah, or Deadpool. And so because of that, his soul is all fucked up. It's all black and shattered instead of this weird white globule. And if he dies again, because somehow he's at the exact threshold, he'll become evil incarnate. And if he just chills the hell out, it will slowly heal, and he'll become a true hero, not like the Jackal, and not like the problematic being he's been. And so again, it's like, you wrote those issues too. It's very strange. They come back to real life, and Ben demands for Kane and Abigail to be resurrected, which I guess Death can do. And she tells him to pick one. She tells him to pick which one is going to stay dead. And he picks himself. He's like, kill me and bring them both back. She refuses that, so he just assaults her.
He just kicks Death in the face, which is, I don't know, I think it's kind of great. Especially considering it turns out to just be foreplay.
Yeah, that turns her on, lights her spark, and so she kisses him.
It makes her horny for life.
And Kane and Abigail are back, and the big status quo is Ben's face is fixed.
Yeah. Also, Kane's is too.
Yeah, Kane's is also.
So that is this story, which we're calling Death Comes Again. It's basically 2 issues of let's fix this series.
I get it.
We're not reading past this, so we can't actually say for certain whether Ben Reilly is actually fixed for the rest of the series.
Well, I guess that's the question. Would either of you want to keep reading this?
Nope.
So that's the thing, in which transitions to my prop, not more Bloodstrike. So do you know what the next arc of this is?
Feel the sting of the hornet.
It's the Slinger's Return. And I have custom bound the Slingers, run by Jack C. Harris, Adam Polina. And when I did this, first of all, I fucked it up.
Great.
I left in like a it's not even a trading card. It's some kind of stupid, no, ultra rare card, but there's no card here, and it's like a Got Milk ad. I could probably try and like use some scissors and jerry rig this out, but that's a risky, very stupid. But the Slingers return, and then when I was making this, this was about the time that the Slingers were returning in Ben Reilly.
How do you, every time, like, it seems you keep getting these custom bind books very fast. How many do you have now?
I have a lot, but I mentioned this, like, I showed this off like 30 episodes ago.
Like, okay, well, I forgot you had this.
I've had this one a while, but when I was making this, I was like, do I go buy 4 issues or whatever of Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider and put in the back of this? But I wasn't sure if they were going to become like a ever-present supporting cast thing. And so I was like, no, just small book, the full original run. But yeah, so the next arc of this is like a weird post-Clone Saga late 90s nostalgic arc. And I guess Ben is fixed. And so this basically becomes the Scarlet Spider's book because I believe Kane keeps appearing in mostly every issue.
I think so.
And eventually it ties into Damnation, which is another weird turn because
wow,
that's all the supernatural heroes and Mephisto coming to Earth, but the thing is,
specifically Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's in Vegas, and so
okay, I guess that's why. Sure.
This book ties in, and there's there's a page in the main Damnation series where Ben Reilly makes his triumphant entrance, and he's just carrying a bunch of guns, and it's kind of hilarious.
That's amazing. I love it.
And this series lasts 25 issues. I think somewhat comparable to 2099, though 2099 was split over 2 volumes because of stupid Secret Wars. And Mark Bagley eventually stops doing covers, and Kerry Randolph does the covers for issues 10 through 25. And I know Mikey, former co-host of the show way long ago, for just a few episodes, including on some other Scarlet Spider stuff. I know he's a big fan of Kerry Randolph, I believe. And Kerry Randolph has a more jaggedy, more cartoony style, which I think resulted in some really cool covers, and especially while it was tying into Damnation, kind of cool style, fitting it. And in issue 24, Ben Reilly dies, and then in issue 25, he's resurrected and crawling out of the grave. And so I'll just ask Matt's question again. Would you ever read any more issues of this series?
No. I don't know. No, I don't think so. Part of me is a little curious. Maybe I'll read Ben Reilly's Wikipedia page. I don't think no.
The answer is going to be the same for me. No.
Yeah.
The challenge for me is that I kind of am intrigued, but the first 5 issues, it's all right, they fixed it, but do you? And I'm speaking kind of as a collector, so it's if I want to read the rest of the series, do I need those 5 issues? Can I skip them?
No, I think you need it. It all comes back to that.
It all ties back. It's all connected.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the thing. If it didn't come directly out of Clone Conspiracy, maybe I have more interest in it. But
even though Ben fixed by the end of issue 7, I still don't think he's the same. He's just so wildly different. It's not the same character to me.
Well, the thing is
weird, because if they had brought back the Ben Reilly that died in Part 4 Revelation, if they had brought back that character, I may find myself going, "Oh, I'm interested," but it's not. It's not the same.
The Ben Reilly that appeared in Spider-Verse was more of the real Ben Reilly to me than the one from these 7 issues and the 1 Omega / Conspiracy and everything. So,
well, for what it's worth, the challenge is that he's fixed literally at the end of the last issue we read. So I assume that Peter David definitely does not write him exactly like Howard Mackie and DeZago and all those people did. That would be impossible, and Marvel probably didn't want to do that.
Well, he didn't dye his hair with a yellow highlighter yet, so I'm still not sure he's the same character.
Yeah, but based on just what we read for the podcast, we can't make a definitive statement of how close he is to his proper characterization because the final page it's fixed. But this is a weird series, and on the Clone Conspiracy episodes, I compared it to the Venom series, where they basically have the exact same thing happen, but a little more drastic, where it's we're revamping this character, and then everyone fucking hates it and wants the classic version back, and then they fix it. But it's like those first 5-6 issues in each series, it's like, how do we treat those? And then both of them kind of get retconned and like weirdly incorporated. The Venom one a lot differently because that failed attempt at a new heroic Venom or protagonist Venom ends up becoming a stupid villain or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I find this like weird false start 180 really interesting.
Well, and I think it's a little different than Venom also, because after that there was Venom Inc. and that whole crossover before Donny Cates took over. So I think it's easier to jump into Donny Cates' run of Venom than it is to jump into this Scarlet Spider book.
Yeah.
Because he did have a status quo reset, while Ben Reilly did not.
Yeah. But then, where is Ben Reilly right now?
Oh.
So his 25th issue, from what I could tell, is that he like dies again, but then is back and is probably totally fine in 25th issue. Maybe we should not. We're not going to cover it, but maybe we should read the 25th issue and see what the final status quo is, because I think he is in Spider-Geddon, which is our next episode, and so we'll check in on him there. But I don't think he's super prominent in that, and then I don't think he's shown up once since then. But I believe he's around.
I'm reading Amazing and Friendly Neighborhood, and he's not set up in either of those yet. So
it's just very weird that we're now living in a continuity where both Ben Reilly and Kane coexist with Peter Parker, and they're all superheroes and all good guys.
But not spotlighted at the moment.
Yeah, but for a little while they all were, though.
Yeah, for a minute there we had Kane, Ben, Miles, and Pete all being Spider-Man in the same universe for like a year or two. That's weird.
It's also too many.
It's also too many.
It's 3 too many, to be exact.
It gets even worse when you factor in characters like Silk.
Like Silk and Gwen and 2099.
When the Spider-Man family is as big as the Bat family, there's a problem.
Well, when they're all spiders. But you can have, like, Prowler. And
Prowler's fine. Alpha's great. We need more Alpha in here. But Miles Morales better fuck off.
Yes. Not Alpha, but, like, Prowler, Silver Sable, Puma.
How are Silver Sable?
Puma. Turned Rhino. We almost had that before Nick Spencer reversed that real quick.
I'm hoping we'll still get that. I'm hoping that when Hunted ends, Rhino will come back as a good boy, because I was really excited for that story.
If anything, they're gonna team up in Hunted.
That's what I'm hoping for. And, it kind of does seem like it's gonna go that way.
I'd be very surprised if one of the HU issues is not Rhino, but the next one's the Gibbon. So
I don't think
Rhino is getting one. Next one is Gibbon, and then it's Lizard.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know I didn't know the Hunted issues had the characters tagged on them.
Yeah, they were.
What's the last one? Aren't there 4?
No, wait. I don't think so. I think it's just 16 was Black Cat. There's no 17. 18 is Gibbon. 19 is Lizard. I think that's it.
All right. Well, tune in next episode for Spider-Geddon, and pending any major announcement from Nick Spencer.
Oh no, I lied. And there's the Vulture. Never mind.
Okay, Vulture. Yeah. Pending any major announcement from Nick Spencer or Tom Taylor or whatever, Spider-Geddon will be our final episode. And then we will do like a quick decompression epilogue episode, similar to how we did one in the very beginning, where we'll just ramble on our overall thoughts on everything.
And, that kind of begs the question, if more clone stuff does come back, does the podcast come back? I suppose we'll talk about that later, but it's something to think about.
My answer is yes. And so tune in next week.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching this one. Bye-bye for near the last time.